Good morning to day 174. Okay, loads of rain again last night. It's just my luck. Trying to keep the formwork as dry as possible to make sure it can do its job. And we get the heavens opening. So yeah, last night it started raining about, as a guess, about 5:30, 6. And it rained pretty much on and off to about 2 or 3 this morning. But coming in this morning, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So it's pretty much like it was the other day. The pool was always a good indicator of how bad the rain was. As you saw the pool the other day, it was quite deep. It's not that bad now. So, but again, we've got to pump things out, broom things out, and I'm sure the basement's got a bit of water in there as well. So we're getting closer to Saturday. Saturday being the day that we're going to be doing the pool. Today again, just snagging, seeing any form of daylight through the formwork, getting up there, nailing it, filling it, making sure it's okay. I'm going to quickly get up and double check the formwork in a minute to make sure it hasn't swollen or blown anymore. We've also got, I've mentioned a couple of times on the video, the bolts themselves on here they're designed to try and keep the formwork, as when the concrete goes in, it's to stop the formwork doing this. But obviously what we've done is we've tightened them to make sure we've got it, but I think we've over tightened in a couple of places. So we've got to get a 7.5 inch bit of 2x4 and go up there and just see whether the gap itself that's meant to be, so that the concrete beam on this side is meant to be 7.5 inches wide. So if we literally put a bit of 4x2 down there and that's 7.5 inches wide, we should work out whether we've gone in too tight or not. We can let them off. Bear in mind also the weight itself's got to go against, so you don't want it dead straight, you want it slightly against, so that when the weight pushes it gives a little bit. But yeah, when you stand down here it really does look like it's bowing in. So if that's the case, we do need to let them off a little bit. Everywhere that we've got a hole within the house, you know, here, perfect example, we've got water everywhere. So yeah, it's a bit of a difficult one. The weather is it's going to be the same all bloody week as well, which is typical. If we poured last Wednesday, it would have been perfect, because you want water coming onto the slab on an ongoing basis, because as it's curing, it's getting hot. So you want to try and keep it cool as it's curing, otherwise you get cracks. So this would have been perfect weather if we poured last Wednesday. But with us not pouring last Wednesday, it's absolutely disastrous. As you can see in here, where you can see where the concrete guys didn't do a great job in doing their laying, because you can see that the water congregates in and around there. And as I've said many times in the past, right near the electrical room as well. So that's the mains electrics room. Hopefully we're not going to get any floods in here anyway, but of all the places where the water congregates, it congregates right on the electrical room. A little bit of water through here, obviously. We can get this swept obviously and it'll dry out with the sun, etc. But it's like it was yesterday. It's all come back again because of the rain. But obviously now we've got the sand a bit more cleared and got the ply up, at least it can flow a little bit better and we can sweep it out. So this is where we are so far in here. Today the plumber was meant to be coming to do the external drainage. We did the benching yesterday, we did the concrete bases and the concrete footings for the bases that the pipe will sit on as well. We now need to get that laid in and get that done properly. We've also got to be careful, because when we take the formwork down, we've got to be careful it doesn't slide down and smash the pipes to pieces. So what we'll probably do, like we did last time, is lay all the formwork out here and get a base and get all the scaffolding put up again, so that, you know, one, if it does come crashing down, it crashes down onto the actual the formwork, not straight down onto the pipes. And I'll probably get some blocks built around the pipework anyway, just to protect it in case anything goes wrong. So that's been done there. And we've agreed to take, as I said yesterday, to take the drainage straight through the wall, straight out to the road. So I'm going to get him to do that today as well. Other than that, the main part to finish this off, obviously connecting this pipe here into here, all the way down to this one. And then we've got to then work out what the line is, and we've got to dig the drive up, and we've got to take the pipe down to the actual manhole at the other end. So this piece here is going to be the final connection. Other than that, once that's done, that is it. It's finished, apart from the bench. Hello, mate. Yeah. And I'll spin it around quickly. Quickly go through here and show you out something else I need to do as well. We've got the manholes now being taken to height. So these ones have been benched and they're being taken to height. That one over there's been done. Morning, Ant. That one over the far side's been done. These have been done. That's been done as well. So as and when the mud comes over level, there'll be obviously cast iron manholes that will go onto these. That's something we need to source. And I need to Anthony to get this wall here sorted today as well. So we need to get that, as I said, that needs to be form worked in, and all of these need to be poured. So I'll have word about getting that done today as well. We were meant to have someone coming out to give us a separate quote to do these steps this week, but they haven't arrived Monday. They didn't arrive Tuesday. We're now on Wednesday, haven't arrived again. So it looks like we have to wait till Saturday when we do the roof, and we'll get the whole lot done at the same time. Beckles is up on the roof, making sure that the snagging element around the outside's done with one of the guys. So we've got to make sure that the smocks are the right size, and we've also got to make sure that all the metal filings and wrapping wire is taken out. So when they were blown, all the wrapping wire's gone down into the cavity. So we've got to get a magnet and get all of the metal out. Otherwise, the metal sits at the bottom of the beam. You pull the beam, and obviously over time it just rusts from inside. So that's one thing we've got to do. Other than that, it's plastering. So I've got to get the price sorted out with Anthony about how much it's going to cost to plaster. We need to start scratch coating certain areas. We can scratch coat all of this now. We can scratch coat all of this. We even could start scratch coating this whole building as well if we wanted to. And the price I've had to clad the outside, bloody expensive. And I really want to do it, but I just can't afford it at the moment. So it looks like we might have to scratch coat and plaster the front of the building, which is not what I wanted to do. But anyway, that's something I'm going to have to look at today and make a decision on, because I need that done sooner rather than later. And whatever finish we go for on the outside, it will affect the windows. So we need to make that decision sooner rather than later. So a few things to do today, as well as getting a material list up together and making sure I go and run and get that in as well. So plenty to do. So it's 20 to 12. Have a quick update, very quick. Our bin shed and utility shed has now got the blinding put down. So that's pretty much done, waiting for rebar and a bit of concrete to go in there on top. We'll also put DPM down on there as well. The guys are actually finishing off the bases down here. Starting to actually put the blocks in. Try and take the actual pipes themselves. Obviously concrete those in place. There we go. What's the guys doing? It really is today just going around snagging, trying to cover up many holes. Carpenters are upstairs just checking levels, trying to fill any white gaps they can see through the hoardings. We have actually worked out that with the 7.5 inch block that the formwork is actually bending in slightly, so we're going to have to release those slightly. The boxing needs to be put on the front of the pool as well, so that's got to be done today. And then we're going to try and get that poured, so we've got the water back out the pool again. And more times we're going to have to do that this week. We're looking reasonably dry in here compared to this morning. I don't know how much rain we had. I don't know if they've managed to get the pump downstairs as yet. I did ask them to make sure to get that downstairs and pumped out. The pump is down there. So it looks like they've set up, but they just haven't managed to get on as yet. Nothing out of the end, it's hanging out the wall. But they've just not turned it on, so we need to get that out downstairs. Again, come Saturday, once the roof's on, we shouldn't be getting any leaking down there at all. Fingers crossed. Hopefully it's all just coming through the ceiling and through this hole. If we get the roof on and we're still getting that downstairs, then we have water coming in from somewhere. That will not be good. So I need to hire a Hilti, because at the moment they're sharpening bits of rebar and using that as a hammer and chisel. So I need to go and hire one or buy one. So again, anyone that knows on the island where to buy a Hilti, let me know. Because our one has died apparently. So yeah, that's one thing I need to do. But other than that, it's just slowly ticking off a few things. We need to also get some oil and some diesel for the cement mixer. I think the guys are also doing the... I think the guys are also doing the entrance into downstairs as well. I've asked them to fill the holes and box up and plaster. Yeah, awesome. So that's pretty much where we are on that. Nothing to be done in here, although next week we do need to do the side return, the fill. So pretty much that's done. We can get that bit of formwork away, and then we can start bringing the mud down here and levelling it off as we go around the corner. But other than that, I think that's pretty much it for this building for now, until the roof is poured, and then we can box up obviously the internal and externals. Once the formwork is down, plumbers don't like turning waste pipes out or bringing pipes out, because obviously when that comes down, it's like a guillotine, it just cuts them straight off. So they leave them as they are for now. Then the formwork comes down, and then they put the bends on, and then you can pour concrete thereafter. So we'll get that done next week as well. Of course, other than that, we are done. Okay, so we're at 4 o'clock. Bits around, have a quick look what's going on. Okay, so the guys are working on the pool area, putting the boxing up on the inside. Internal formwork. So to give you a greater picture, the rear edge is being left where it is, which is too high. And then we have the inner edge, which as you can see is a lot lower. So as you can see, it is the same height as the concrete slope behind. But the concrete is actually going to be brought down. So right at the very, very back, you can see there's a different height. That's going to be brought down to the edge. And that allows the water to then come down past the block wall and run over the sides and run off the front. So that will be brought all the way along. We've got to take the smocks off of the beam itself, because the beam is protruding now too high where the boxing's concerned. So we'll take the smocks off, let that sink down, and then finish the boxing off, and then that's going to get poured tomorrow. And then as you can see here, we're starting to chase out on the concrete itself, and then we're going to pour a little concrete ledge along there, as we are on the other side as well, to stop the water coming along here and going off. So there's actually a gutter that's going to get cut all the way along here. It's roughly it's about here, and it runs all the way up in the concrete and then goes left. So that will be disc grind all the way through, so that when the water comes over the edge, it comes into the drain and comes back into the trough. So that will be done tomorrow. It's one thing we're going to do. Obviously we're going to be getting these plastered, stuff like this. We'll start getting the scratch coats on, and once the scratch coat's on, then we can start priming for the plaster. And we're going to go for a white plaster, and then on next week we're going to start obviously taking all the formwork off, and we can scratch coat right up to the very top. We can get all this plastered all the way around here as well. Inside, well, that's going to be a mission. We've got a great guy called Andrew who's in the local area. He's going to be coming in to board absolutely everything. So boarding all the walls, all of the ceilings. We're going to plaster the columns, but everything else is going to be boarded. That'll all be boarded in here. In here, there's going to be walls built in here. He's going to be doing that as well. So obviously this is a bedroom. So there'll be a partition wall that'll be built across here. There'll be a toilet wall here. So all of these walls in here will be built by him. So once the actual roof has been poured and we can pour everything down, then he can start cracking on with that. So that can't happen soon enough, that's for sure. The outside manholes have been continued on today as well. So I'll quickly show you. They're pretty much done now. So we've now got the block walls actually being built up as well. We probably need another one in there. We've got another one there, another one there, and then we go straight in. So we need to get the sword underneath those before the sword is applied on, otherwise it will bend and break the pipe. And all the others are done, they've just got to be set properly. What else? The other thing we've been doing today is filling the walls downstairs for the entrance into the basement. So they should have been done by now, I would have thought. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, so Anthony's been down there. How you getting on, Ant? All right?
Yeah.
That's good. So nicely skimmed. And then we just need to get the bores filled with concrete. All of them all the way around, because this has basically got to stop all of the water coming into this area. So other than that, that's good. mixer's on its way in today. And then at the front we've actually got the garbage area being done as well. I'm going to quickly down there and show you that. So these are just some of the items we're trying to knock off whilst we're not able to do anything internally. It's just trying to think of anything we can do to try and keep the job moving along whilst we're being held up by the concrete roof. So down here you can see that we're trying to extend the wall. So Beckles has got the guys digging out the footing here to extend that wall out. The concrete going in so that we can actually start blocking that up. So that will come to the actual width that it's meant to be, and that will then form the driveway width. Ricky and the boys here are plastering away here. And then around the front, sorry about the wind, we've then got the blindings taking place now to the level it needs to be at. The sheeting has gone down, and then tomorrow we'll steel it with BLC, and then there'll be a proper concrete base put in there. So that'll be done tomorrow. So yeah, things are moving forward. And obviously we spent some time upstairs making sure the actual distances and the formwork is where it needs to be. I think a few of them had to be adjusted. I don't know if they did them or not, but we're definitely going to have to focus on that tomorrow. And tomorrow's going to be all about the roof again. So Thursday tomorrow, we've got more jacks arriving, we've got a new Hilti being delivered. We can crack on with doing some of the other bits and bobs, but the main thing at the moment is obviously just working on anything that needs to be done on the roof. If the rain holds off, which hopefully it does, I'm going to get out there with some fixer foam and trying to work out where we can try and seal some of the holes and gaps to prevent any of the concrete coming down here. Obviously we'll have sand down here to try and protect the floor anyway, but if we can try and get the roof doing what it needs to do, that would be 10 times better than us putting fixer foam and everything everywhere. So we'll see what happens. Other than that, that's it really. It's just obviously trying to go around and finding anything we can do that's going to help the job move on, that saves us time week 3, 4 of December. So really we've done the roof, we've done the inside, then we've gone to the other bits, but because we can't do the inside, we're trying to just find other things we can physically do to keep the job moving on. So we'll look at that in more detail tomorrow morning, and we'll carry on doing stuff towards the weekend, and then when the weekend comes, mental poor day, and then some freedom internally to start cracking on. We're getting everything sorted out. So that's it from Barbados for today.